Season 55, War number 7. Today we've matched up against The Who, and the bands are Hulk, Null, Serpent, Silk, and Count Nefaria. And my team today is going to be Odin, Angela, and Luke Cage. Obviously Odin here is just for the synergy with Angela, and we're going to be taking 5 fights today with Angela and 3 with Luke Cage. Starting today on Path 8 against this America Chavez here. Getting all my boosts going, and let's just get into it. This Chavez does not really do much on this node. She doesn't really do much this tactic in general, because whenever a Wither is placed on Chavez, she just removes one of her dimensions, so she doesn't really have any defensive threats after that. So with Luke Cage, we're just going to try to get to SP2 with a good bit of debuffs active, and then it's just going to hit really hard. If we got a couple crits there, would have felt even better, but we didn't, and it doesn't matter because she goes down in 26 seconds, which is what the end screen said before I cut it out because it decided to lag a bit. But now we're using Angela versus this Spider-Punk on node 17. Activate the Odin pre-fights now. The pre-fights don't really do much themselves, but they do benefit Angela's Sig ability a lot, which is really why we have them more than like the aptitude, protection, and shock resist itself, because we just want them for the Sig ability triggers. So what Angela's Sig ability does is it reduces the chance of the opponents being able to auto block, the chance of them being able to nullify me, and reduces the duration of damaging debuffs on me. So if you have 3 debuffs and you're playing a Sig 200 Angela, 3 buffs and you're playing a Sig 200 Angela, you are just flat out immune to damage over time effects. It is pretty OP, and it makes her very, very strong for some war circumstances, which you're going to see later. There was one big reason why I took Angela to war, and that is for a fight coming later in the video that she was the best counter for, in my opinion. But now we are fighting Mysterio on node 27. So with Decay, we wouldn't be taking damage from the Hazard Shift debuffs anyway, but we're also just going to be flat out basically immune to them because of the fact that Angela's Sig ability is in play. Now there is one little stipulation, and that is the fact that if they have the Deep Wounds Mastery on, we are still going to get bled for the amount of time that the Deep Wounds Mastery increases the duration of bleeds, which in this case looks like it is 50 seconds. So every time that Hazard Shift triggers, 0.5 seconds, not 50 seconds. Every time Hazard Shift triggers, I'm going to get a bleed on me that is going to last only 0.5 seconds because the Deep Wounds triggers after her Sig. Just with the way the math works, which doesn't really matter because again with Decay we're not taking damage from it anyway. However, it is a thing, so yeah, there's that. And now we're fighting Medusa on node 36. This is actually a tricky placement, and Angela was the best option I could come up with for it, and I'm the only Angela in the battle group, so I just kind of was going to have Angela this war. Here, immediately, I'm going to go all the way down to 33% because the AI did not play into a simple intercept. So I'm having a massive panic attack because I just lost almost all my health from one combo because I'm just doing a normal thing. So that's cool, and she's got a super aggressive AI, so I'm like, if I get clipped, I'm just dead. So, let's just not get clipped. I also can't parry in this fight because this has one eye open. And I'll just be reflecting all that damage back on myself. And Angela's basic attacks hit very hard, so that would be very bad if that happened. Now luckily, once we get the ball rolling, she killed Medusa very fast, so that was one of the most terrifying things I've ever experienced recently, but yeah, we soloed it. Now we're fighting Destroyer on node 39. Zero clue as to why he's placed here, because he's doing literally nothing on this node. With Luke Cage being whitelisted, and like I could think of 10 other science champs that would just completely ruin this fight, but I will happily take it. We get some really nice heavy crits there, and then once we get Luke Cage's concussions going, That's gonna fail a lot of Destroyer's kits. It's not gonna fail his destruction charges, however, when he would reach 100 of them, he's not gonna be able to trigger the power gain. That is going to be failed by concussion, which is super cool. And then we go for the other SP2 here, and we get a couple crits, and he is dead. So, nice mini-boss right there. Next up, we're fighting Darkhawk on node 42. In hindsight, I would actually not take this fight with Angela. I would send a Medusa to this fight if I could. I did not assign a Medusa to anyone this war, so it made sense for me to use Angela for it. But it was probably something I should have just forced in, because like Angela's fine for this fight. It just takes a while, because Darkhawk is low-key very tanky. He does not take extra damage from critical hits when he's in shield mode, and on this node he is going to be in shield mode a lot, because you are forced to knock him down. Also, we have to manage having the slow active as often as possible, because it's tactic. If any of my buffs expire, there's a legitimate chance that he goes unstoppable, like he is doing constantly here. So, if we're running Medusa, that really isn't a thing we worry about. But, I didn't send Medusa, I sent myself with Angela. So, yeah, in hindsight, I would not take this fight. Again, if I can find a Medusa, she's going here. Unfortunately, I couldn't. Well, I technically could have, but whatever. It's going to be a solo regardless. We're just going to lose a decent bit of my health. And here he throws the special 2. I need to bait a heavy attack, get the slow back up, and then the fight is going to end right there. Next up, we're fighting Nova on node 43. This fight makes a lot of sense for Angela to be taking, because she is going to be basically immune to Hazard Shift. She is also going to fail Nova's auto block basically at all times, and she also parries non-contacts. So it makes a lot of sense to be using Angela for this fight. I could have found some other mystics who take Hazard Shift, Shock, and Incinerate, but there was no need because she counters this very well. So we have a lot of extra buff potency now because we've won 6 fights in this quest before this fight. So we're definitely hitting very hard, especially when we crit. And yeah, this Nova is going to go down in just a moment. Dex is SP2 here. By the way, if you run the recoil masteries with Angela, she feels even stronger. I just don't own them, so I can't really do that. And then the last fight this war is going to be with Luke Cage versus this Sasquatch on node 47. Luke kinda destroys Sasquatch pretty much everywhere, because, man, this game lag. Okay, because when Sasquatch has exhaustion on him, he cannot gain wrath charges, so he's going to be stuck at 1 basically the whole fight. And that's basically it. We're going to get concussion up. That's just going to shut off the nodes, shut off the rest of Sasquatch kit that isn't already shut off by the exhaustion. And I think I'm going to eat a special 3 here, but my Luke is awakened, so I knew I wouldn't take damage from it. Yeah, he drops it here, and then I'm going to be at 2 bars of power afterwards because I ate a special 3. And yeah, no damage. We have the double concussion up. We have a lot of extra attack from some withers and the exhaustions. The slow, debilitate, concussion, all the extra debuffs. Missed a parry there, that sucks. It's whatever. But we're going for another concussion here. Baiting out his special attack. Am I going to heavy counter? No, I'm not. I could use another debilitate. But we go for the SB1. Do some burst damage, place the stun and slow, and here we go back in. We have the Sunder up, which is removing all of Sasquatch's crit resist, which isn't really that high anyway because he only has 1 wrath charge, so maybe the Sunder doesn't really matter that much, but it is helping a little bit. And then this SB1 is going to finish the job. So that is my War 7. We did end up losing this war 4-10. And that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.